How's the size of that trailer?
Any of the fuel will run 91 octane, 95, 98. You can run in all the octanes.
Is there a preference?
95.
95? Yep.
Premium is probably a little bit better.
Cool. Yep.
Do I see a performance difference? I've never noticed it.
Yeah.
You know, theoretically, just one lever. So it hooks under the front there. Just do the lever there.
There is it. Yeah. So white with the blue and white. Okay, and it's got a yellow little tip. Okay, cool. Is that for me to keep? And it's just got a little. Oh wow. That's the fanciest owner's manual I've ever seen, for sure.
With this hydraulic system, it will be a lot better and more sensitive.
Yeah.
So more given into that.
Okay, so just be aware. Yeah.
Just a bit darker. So that's about the same.
It needs to be what? Sorry, darker for the car. Oh, that's all right. Blue and blue. I didn't choose it because of that though. Should I jump out of here or is we... There she is. Oh, she looks good. Pretty happy. Okay, so welcome back, and I'm sorry this is a last minute video, but yeah, this isn't exactly the way I imagined I was going to introduce the boat, but I have been just sitting on it for the last 2 days. I spent so much time just kitting things out and getting it all ready that I thought, oh man, and then I want to do a trip next week. I thought there's no opportunity for me to edit and get this boat out there within a reasonable time frame before when I'm going to be using it. So I thought, bugger it, I'll just go down, we'll get it in the water. This is the second day test run. But here she is. I guess the boat to start with is a Stabicraft. So Stabicraft 1450. This is the Explorer model, but basically I've kitted it out with every mod you could get to make it like bring it up to the Profish model, bar one thing, which is the tiller steer. Went with Stabicraft because they got such a good name when it comes to boat build quality. So it's an aluminium plate boat, but just in particular with the life ring. So there's basically a foam filled pontoon around the whole boat. So perfectly, when it's at rest, it sits nice and flat. It's super stable. And then at planing speeds, it gets up on a V-hull, so it cuts through the waves really well, handles ocean conditions. So Stabicraft is basically built around a heritage of being able to handle rough conditions and being super safe because of the life ring. So it's an unsinkable boat. It's got a self-draining deck, so at speed it just drains out the back. So you don't necessarily have to worry about bungs and the boat sinking or filling up. You don't even necessarily have to worry about having a bilge on the inside. But I think I might put one on just for safety, but yeah, don't need to actually. We've got a 40 horsepower Yamaha on the back. Went with Yamaha just simply because there's super good name when it comes to reliability. And that's what I need when I'm going out on these island adventures, and I want to basically push it further on this boat than I ever have. So reliability is definitely going to be key. So yeah, so far so good. Literally the second time I've taken it out. We went for a little bit of a run with the family, but we had a bit of fun and got it out onto the ocean, which is cool. But the tiller steers these days, like I went tiller because I like that more flexible seating position. I wanted to clear this whole deck up, and I can't believe the amount of deck space I've got. Like, well, this whole boat in general, it's more boat than I've ever had, but that amount of deck space is just unheard of for me. So I could sleep there, no problems. If I'm not comfortable with an anchoring position, I can just stay on the boat and rest up. I can cook on the boat. There's so much like storage under these gunnels, nice wide gunnels to sit on. Yeah, so the deck space is really key for me, and so tiller steer has worked out really well. And the tiller has pretty much all the controls that like a cockpit or a center like a little steering position would have. Plus I don't have to deal with the steering cables and steering issues going wrong. So yeah, tiller made so much sense for me, and I just enjoy tiller steer to be honest. Alright, we'll jump up on the side platforms. These are an extra option. I've got side platforms on the back of each side, perfect from diving and jumping in and out of the boat. Just stand straight up on them, and then we'll hop in. So yeah, nice super deep boat to stand in. Gunnels have heaps of storage. Basically all the under here is hollow, so you can put everything in. So I think I might like line the spear gear up on this one, and then when I get back I can even just hose straight into this one and clean it out real fast. Just been finding storage boxes that fit in here, so I've got a couple of boxes in there, waterproof boxes, and we'll figure out, you know, obviously we're just stuffing things in holes at the moment, but we'll figure out where everything goes over trips and what works. But yeah, nice wide gunnels, good to work off. I reckon I could cook or put a chopping board up here and actually work up there nicely. And then we move up, and then the gunnels cut away. This is one of the coolest things about this boat, I think. The gunnels cut away, and then it just turns into basically seating, and it reclaims all of that space that a lot of time you lose on a lot of other boats. You get all of this seating and a casting deck. It just works so well. Reclaiming this whole area, that was a big selling point for me. I was really excited, and I thought, you know, the family can sit up here, plus one can sit up the back, we can space out the weight. Everything about the front of this deck was really, really appealing to me. When we get under here, I just have some life jackets because the family was out yesterday. We've got anchor wheel. I need to fix the anchor wheel up a bit, but yeah, and then that's where the battery for the trolling motor will go. So we got the trolling motor mount put on. I am planning on getting a trolling motor. I just haven't had a chance to sort of sort that out. And yeah, we just got to save some money as well. That was, and that's one of the things with this boat. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Over the last year, I actually got approached by two boat companies basically, sort of offering me a boat. And they said I could use it on the channel. Obviously, great offer, and really appreciate that and being considered. It was really cool. But what it did get me thinking is, I was like, well, what is my sort of dream boat? Because to be honest, like as cool as the boats were and great for, you know, certain people and what they do, they weren't my dream boat, or they weren't the kind of boat that I would buy. It's not what I ever envisioned I'd you know, spend my money on, and would be the most ideal boat for the trips I do, and sort of just be the perfect sort of ideal boat that I would have picked, genuinely picked. It got me thinking though, like what really was my ideal boat, because obviously the beautiful boats on offer, one of them was probably a bit too big of a boat as well, and it was fiberglass. I was like, oh, that's probably not the boat I would ever really choose. But so with a bit more research and looking into it, I definitely decided like aluminium plate boat, because I want to be able to say pull it up on some, you know, gravelly bottoms or corally sand and be able to beach it and things like that on the island if I need to. So definitely plate boat was what I wanted. And aluminium was what I wanted, but it took me a long time to sort of find one, because I didn't want a big boat, because at home in the garage, getting it in and out of the driveway, we live off of like a fairly busy street that's fairly constant, so backing it in and out would have been a pain. There was definitely some considerations in the size of the boat. I didn't want a huge boat, but I want a small boat that can do big boat stuff. Okay, So that's the tricky part, because a lot of the boats in that sort of 4.5 meter area, sure, you can take them offshore, but there's still, you know, some risk involved in that. They are sinkable, you know, and if I'm right out in the middle of the nowhere in the islands, I want something that sort of can do what the big boats do, but still is a small boat, so I can take it out regularly. It's not too hard to deal with in the garage. I don't have to reconfigure the whole garage and all of that kind of stuff. So all of this stuff was considered, and it took me a long time, and I was narrowed it down to one or two, and some of them were fairly customized plate boats and hard to get information off. And then all of a sudden I came across one video on YouTube, and it was, I think, by the captain, but it was of a guy's 410 Stabicraft, and I was like, geez, that boat, and it was tiller steer as well. I was like, man, that boat would be pretty good, I think. And then I looked more into it, and they didn't make that model anymore, but they've made this model, and it's slightly bigger, so it's even better for me. It's the perfect size, better gunnel configuration, the way that all these cutouts are done. They've updated all the bits and pieces to match their big boats that they make, and they've got such a good name that I was like, man, that's the boat. I want that boat. That's the one I want. It's, you know, it seems to tick all the safety boxes. It's a tough plate boat. It ticked so many boxes. I was like, I can't believe this boat's around. This is exactly what I was after. So basically, in full disclosure, so after all this and after the offer of boats, I did approach Stabicraft, and I have had help from Stabicraft and Northside Marine, but I've paid for the majority of this boat. This is not a free boat that they've given me. So just so you know, I put my money where my mouth is, and I did pay for the boat, and the vast majority, I paid for the engine as well, the motor, everything. So you know, it's been a stranded family. We've been saving our pennies for it, and we worked really hard for it. And I guess it's just to explain that this is actually my dream boat, and the money actually that went to it was real money that I had to work for. So I wanted it to be my dream boat. I didn't just want it to be a free, you know, gift boat. But we'll continue on with the tour. I guess I want to just explain that. So rod storage here. I might put more rods, a few just rod holders along here, so that I can stand them up on the side and just have different options to get them out of the way. But now that I'm using this, it's actually pretty good, unless the whole family wants to sit up there or something. Or I guess when using casting deck, you might want to move the rods over. But we've got rod holder here and here on each side. Cup holders, which I think is very fancy. I know I've made it if I've got cup holders. And then we moved to the back of the boat. So we've got 24 litres, probably went through half a tank yesterday, did a lot of running around. Obviously we're still in that sort of the middle break-in period, so just varying the throttle, lots of that going on. But yeah, the boat goes really nicely. So far, just playing with the trim, we've clicked for 50 k's an hour. But I think with another prop, I might try a different prop, and yeah, we'll test maybe that out. We might put a stainless prop on here and see how we go as well. The difference when I trimmed it up a little bit, once I was at full speed, was amazing. Like the boat just took off. So trimming up and down is going to be very fun. And then, what have we got? We've got a bait, we've got a pump on the bottom just down the back here. And we hooked some switches up so we can just turn it on and pump some water out. Yeah. But yeah, that pump's a bit loud. I'll have to check that out. But that's going to be for live bait. I'm going to set up a little live bait set up here so it just overflows back in. So every now and then we can just blast the pump. And also, you can notice the hose is pointing out the back here, because at speed, or you don't even have to be going very fast, it automatically just feeds it up. The intake feeds up the water even when the pump's off. So that's pretty convenient. Just moving around is enough to keep the liveys fresh, and then just flick the switch when you want to pump some water. And the other switch was basically for my sounder and the hook up there. So what's cool about this sounder is we've gone with a Simrad. It's a 12-inch. It's on a mount where we can maneuver it nice and easily. So I can push it further back or further forwards, and I can also bring it alongside and just store it sideways and get it a bit more out of the way. So that ram mount worked really well. And it's definitely heavy duty, because when I got the sounder out, I was like, oh, that's pretty heavy actually. It's a bit of a big unit. But I'll try and set up here where you can see the sounder a bit better. But this is the gauge screen. What we've done is we've run a interface cable. I'll probably do a proper video of a lot more of the specifics, but what we've done is we've run the cable from the motor through, and we've connected to the sounder. So I don't need any gauges. Basically all my gauges come up on the sounder as well. And then we've got our regular sonar screens, and we've got charts obviously, and really good side scan. So definitely keen to use all of this fancy gear and get a little bit more up to speed with my advanced sounder usage. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to have it all sort of just laid out like that. It's cool. I can see my engine hours. Yeah, it's all there. And yeah, the ram mount worked out well. It can take the weight of this unit. I was really worried that it wasn't going to take the weight of the unit, but then once I got it installed, I had to beef up this whole area here and make some little brackets. You can see I had to bend some aluminium to sort of fit this section, but it's super strong. Like, I can lean my whole body weight on that. That's not going anywhere. And the bracket seems to be able to take the weight of the sounder, no problems. So we're looking good there. It's really sturdy actually, and when you tighten this up, it doesn't really go anywhere. So yeah, like, I've just got to shake it pretty hard to make that rock. Yeah, and we've got all the cool Railblazer bits. We've got the cup holders, of course, which is cool, but we've got star ports all the way around, so the filming opportunities are definitely there. We'll be able to pop cameras on just about everywhere. We've got some on the back here as well. So the Railblazer ports went on, and we've got a couple of new camera booms and things like that. But we're floating away, so what we'll do is we'll go back. I'll show you the trailer, because the trailer is as fancy as the boat, as far as I'm concerned. It was a pretty cool choice. So fancy. Well, fancy for me anyway. I know everyone else is like, yeah, it's just a boat, mate. So, GFAB trailer. I'll talk a bit more about this once I get the boat out, because I don't want to hold up the ramp if anyone rocks up. But yeah, this trailer is the bee's knees. I'm so glad I got it, because geez, it looks the part, doesn't it? But we'll get the boat on quickly, and then we'll get out of people's way. Back at home, we just wanted to get out of the way as another person got to the ramp. So we quickly got everything sort of kitted up, got the straps on. Everything about this trailer is pretty premium though, so we'll run through it. So the trailer's made by GFAB. Basically, like, pretty much they had a trailer perfectly matched to the Stabi. I saw one online, and I sort of decided that the opportunity came up to get it. So I was like, no, I'm all in on this trailer. Certainly looks the goods, and it's definitely sort of part of the fancy package of it. It's very, very cool. All very nice Fulton, like, giant jockey wheel, and makes it easy to push around. And winch, I probably could drive it on. The guys at Northside said they did drive it on, and for a small boat it actually sort of drove on pretty well, but I'm not 100% confident yet, so I'm just using the winch for now until I get a bit better at it. But yeah, hydraulic brakes, proper hydraulic brakes, not wired, and then super heavy duty aluminium construction, so no rust. And as we move down, you can see how beefy it is, really. So really cool little mag wheels. I won't have to change the bearings, they're completely sealed, so I don't have to do the wheel bearings, say, every year and muck around with that. Just a quick check and to make sure they're all working properly, and that's all I will need to do. So very, very low to no maintenance trailer, basically. Got your LED lights, and just super, super amazing. Like, everything about it is just premium. You can see just everything about it is just done so well. Look at those welds, it's next level. So it's an amazing trailer, and I'm very, very much looking forward to the fact that it's low maintenance. And obviously, being alloy, it's lighter and won't rust. So it's pretty amazing. And like, you know, when I'm coming off the water, it definitely makes the boat feel even more special, that's for sure. It should get me everywhere I need to go. All right, so, well, that's the boat. I know this wasn't quite as elaborate as I was imagining it was going to be, this video, but I just wanted to get out there, and I couldn't sit on it for like 2 or 3 weeks and not tell anyone. Plus, I just want to start doing trips in it, so I thought let's get this video out there, and we can go through all the fine details, and we'll work through it while we're working through the videos anyway, and you'll get to see more and more and more of obviously all the little features and all the bits that I like about it, and what's working for me and stuff like that. And yeah, hopefully you guys are into it as well and think it's pretty cool. But I'm really looking forward to some of the things we're going to do on this boat. Like, definitely it's going to take me further than I've been. Should open up a lot of more different fishing opportunities. I've even bought got a few new reels and stuff, like for some jigging and other styles of fishing that I don't concentrate a whole lot on because I just don't have the range. But with this guy, we should have plenty of range for the things I got planned. We're going to do a big trip down to Sydney. We'll try and get a trip in up, like maybe we're going to try each new craft I've ever had. I've done the baby black marlin run up at Fraser. I'm a little late to the party, but we might try and do that this week if the weather plays ball. If not, we'll maybe go to an island and we'll figure something out, because then Christmas is upon us and we're going to go down to Sydney. We're going to do a big road trip down and really put the boat through its paces. We're going to visit a whole bunch of friends, see my family, and then we're going to stay a bit further down the coast again from Sydney. So it should be a good road trip. So there's plenty more coming in the new boat, and just, yeah, we just got to get there now. But yeah, finally, we're on the water. So yeah, new craft everywhere. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.